Thank you, Jeff. I'm honored to be here. And I was honored to be invited in 2019 to participate in a strategic planning meeting to envision what might be the future for the Lost Mural. Our group came together and we considered whether this century-old artifact from another time and another era of Vermont's history could be seen as a work of art that could speak with relevance and resonance to today. And we discussed many exciting possibilities. Finding a way to use the story of the mural to give Vermonters a window into our state's rich and diverse religious history and our diverse immigrant past. Interpreting it in the context of Eastern European synagogue architecture and Jewish communal life, or as an extraordinary example of Eastern European folk art. Illuminating the multi-ethnic history of Burlington's Little Jerusalem, which so few Vermonters and so few visitors to our state are even aware of. As Ben Doyle points out in the quote in your program, this mural helps us to understand that Vermont's immigrant past and Vermont's identity is dynamic and diverse. Our group talked about the challenge of incorporating the mural's story into Vermont's brand new ethnic and social equity curriculum standards, and the ways that it stands as an emblem of cultural survival, and much more. I know that all of those exciting possibilities for interpreting and sharing the story of the mural are still being explored, and each one deserves its moment and its time. But what I am so struck by tonight is the beauty and the power of the mural as a cultural artifact. Before I came to Vermont, I spent many years as a museum curator, including a stint at Josh's Museum in Philadelphia. And I was often frustrated by how mute an object is once you put it in a case in a museum. So picture a pair of brass candlesticks that were brought to this country by a Jewish immigrant. I know many of you might have a set in your home. When I see those brass candlesticks behind plexiglass in a museum, they need no interpretation. I don't need to read the label. They speak to me immediately because I can see my grandmother lighting the Shabbos candles in her dining room. I can see the flickering light of the candles. I can hear her voice reciting the bracha. And I can almost feel that hush of peace that descended on the entire household. But those candles only speak to me because of my history and because of that context. Take away that history, take away that context, and they're just a pair of candlesticks behind plexiglass in a museum. That, to me, is the challenge and the enormous possibility of interpreting the Lost Mural for Vermonters and for a broader audience. It's so important and so vital, perhaps now more than ever, for each of us to be able to understand how someone different from us experiences the world. To be able to imagine how a pair of candlesticks, or a Torah scroll, or a set of rosary beads, or a Holy Quran, or a synagogue mural, what it means and what it has meant to people whose lives are vastly different than our own. The Lost Mural potentially has that magic. When you stand in front of it or you stand under it and look up, you can feel an entire social, cultural, and spiritual world unfold. It has that power to speak and to tell multiple stories that is so rare and so precious. I'm proud that the Vermont Arts Council could play a small part in preserving and documenting this rare cultural treasure of Vermont's past. I know that all of you in this room are as moved and inspired as I am by the heroic work of the Friends of the Lost Mural, led by Governor Coonan, to restore it and to preserve its history. And I look forward, as I know all of you do, to seeing all of the mural's many stories unfold. Thank you.